Good morning.
Good morning. Thank
How
you
are
for
you?
having me on this show.
Yeah.
I'm well, and you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great.
You told me a lot about people. Everybody you meet wants to go to Canada. Everybody you meet wants to go to Canada.
A lot, yes.
But now they've made it extremely difficult
Yes.
for people to go. Talk to us about that.
Yes. So, obviously, there are reasons that people want to move. People want to move because they're searching for new experiences or they want to have more opportunities. Canada is a very popular destination from Ghana. I won't say everybody I want to meet, but I would say a lot of people that I meet are interested in pursuing Canada. But recently, there's been a very high rise of refusals in Canada, all kinds of applications, because until last year, there were a lot of visas given out. There were a lot of foreigners who went to Canada, and now there are a lot of pressures there on the system as a result. But it's not just the foreigners. I mean, foreigners bring in a lot when they go to Canada. There's a reason why the Canadian government was encouraging people to come to Canada, right? Because it benefits Canada as well. But, economy, things change, there are pressures on the healthcare system, things always have to be balanced. So right now, the refusal rate is very high because of a number of pressures.
Yeah.
Yes.
So talk to us about your background and your connection to the immigration system here.
Okay. So I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant.
Okay.
And that's a really long title.
Yes, it is.
But basically, I'm licensed to provide immigration and visa services.
Okay.
There's a government body that licenses us so that people, if they want to use the services of someone, it's not mandatory, you don't have to, but if you want to use the services of a professional, then you must use the services of an immigration lawyer or an RCIC. You're actually not supposed to use the services of just anybody who's an agent. That is
Travel
actually
agent.
against the law. Exactly, for the visa process. You can use a travel agent for your booking, your ticket booking, tour packages, things like that. But for the visa process, you either do it yourself or you must use a lawyer or an RCIC like myself.
Yeah. Talk to us about the One Heart Immigration Consultant.
Okay, so that is my firm, One Heart Immigration. We are a team of dedicated professionals.
Okay.
We are based right here in Accra, in Airport Residential. That's our company. And it's our family business, set up by my family. And the whole idea is that we want to provide services with integrity, with honesty, with competency, so that people have somewhere to go that they can trust.
Okay.
Yes. So this is what we aim to provide with our company in terms of immigration and visa services for those who want to go to Canada.
Okay, so how about the regulated Canadian immigration consultant? How about that? What's the connection? What connection does One Heart Immigration Service have to do with the regulated Canadian consultant services?
Okay, so I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant.
Okay.
And my company is One Heart.
Okay.
So through our company, we provide services. We work with other regulated immigration consultants as well, so that we provide services that are licensed to the general public through our company.
Okay, so now this is where most Ghanaians are very interested.
Yes.
We want to know.
Yes.
Why so many refusals? What is going wrong? Is it money? Is it, wrong information? What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question because people get so frustrated. You do all this work, you put in an application, and then you get refused. It's so disheartening. On one side, the refusals are not always your fault. Sometimes there are political factors at play. There's economic factors at play. And so you can't always blame yourself that this is my fault. There are reductions now on the number of students that are going to be allowed, foreign workers who are going to be allowed, permanent residents. So that is also a political environment, a political situation out there that is, of course, having a huge impact.
Yeah.
On the other side, however, visa officers have become more stringent. The cost of living requirements have gone up. For example, students last year needed to show that they had $10,000 in living expenses. Now it's $20,600 because cost of living has gone up. And the government doesn't want people to come there and be struggling. They want them to have a clear picture of how much it actually costs to live in Canada. So if you think you're going to go with 10,000 and you're going to be fine, you're going to struggle. And then there's going to be temptation to have to work illegally and do things that they don't want you to go through. So that has gone up. So of course the financial requirements have gone up, and that increases the refusals because not everybody can afford that. So one part can be finances, but there are a lot of other things. For example, Canada wants to know that you are a genuine visitor, you are a genuine student. You're not just using the visitor visa to go claim asylum.
Yeah.
You're not just using the student visa to go work there illegally. And unfortunately, there are people who are doing that, who have done that. So it makes it harder for everyone else when others go do that, because then it puts more scrutiny on your application.
Yes.
You know, so the requirements have become more difficult. The political factors have changed. The environment has changed. So now if you want to apply, you really need to know that you are eligible, and you need to know how to do the application very well. Because online, what we see, the Canadian government puts a lot of great information online. Document checklists, information about what you need to provide, how to do your application. But these things are the bare minimum often to convince the visa officer of everything to do with you that will convince them, yes, I'm going to go and come back. Yes, I have enough money to be there. So you really need to know how to put in a very, very good application.
All right. Are there any specific category of applicants that are refused? I mean, are they students? Are they, graduates, just workers? Who is mostly affected by these refusals?
So this year we're seeing a lot of students who are getting affected.
Okay.
Okay, because Canada had a huge influx of students. So this year we're seeing students, because students end up having to go and stay there for longer periods of time. Yet they're supposed to go and they're supposed to come back. Except Canada does have pathways. So when students graduate, there are some great ways that they can then apply to stay on a work permit and then for permanent stay.
Yeah.
This is why Canada attracts people, because it's one of the countries that really has these pathways. So when people are investing so much in going there, they want that option, that when I'm there, after I graduate, I can stay. I can make a life for myself, for my family. So I would say students are one of them that are getting refused quite a bit. But it's also happening with visitors, work permits. It's happening all around.
Tourist?
Tourists as well. Yes, tourists as well. Because with tourists as well, they want to know you have enough money for your visit, and they really want to believe you're going to go and come back. So you have to show your ties to your home country are very, very strong. And there are very specific ways you can do that, but you really have to go think outside of the box and show, okay, what are my links to my home country? So sometimes if you're not able to demonstrate that, then yes, you can get refused your tourism visa as well.
Now we've talked about the category of people who are usually faced with refusal. Yeah. What are some of the mistakes we make during this application? You mentioned before we came here that we need to have lawyers or people who know, like yourself, how to put in applications and all of that, not just anyone. But for Ghanaians who are applying to go to Canada, what are some of the mistakes, major and minor, that causes them to be refused?
Yes, that's a good question. So one mistake can be not understanding the finances that you're supposed to show for an application. So for example, students need to show 1 year of living expenses.
Okay.
Plus they need to show they have at least 1 year of tuition. But sometimes that is not enough, because the Canadian government doesn't want you to spend all your life savings on your 1 year of studies in Canada. So if 1 year living expenses is $20,635, your tuition fee depends on your school, your program, and let's say it comes to 40 or 45,000 Canadian dollars, and you show 45,000 Canadian dollars. Often people think, well, I showed what was required, so why did I get refused based on financial grounds, right? But the thing is, why are you spending all of your life savings on 1 year when you're saying you're going and coming back? Yeah. Don't you need money back home for your family?
Suspicious.
Don't you need money back home for your family? Don't you need money back home for commitments that you might have? Maybe you have property, maybe you have things. So why are you doing that? So it becomes like, so I see that mistake quite a bit. Other mistakes I make is people who, the program that they're choosing doesn't always make sense. They don't understand how this program fits into your goals. So you have to explain that as well. This I'm talking about for students, right? And also ties to home country. People don't show enough ties to home country. Another thing people don't realize...
If you say ties to home country, let's break it down so we can help our viewers.
Sure.
What exactly does that mean?
Sure. Family members, business, if you have businesses, are you providing all the documentation for that? Are you participating in any activities in your home country, social activities? Are you providing documentation for that? So that's why it becomes very... it's very specific to the person, because everybody has a different life and different ties. But these are some examples of ties to home country.
Okay.
Yes. Another big mistake I see people making is that they often use financial sponsors who are not always genuinely their sponsors. Sometimes they are, but sometimes they're not. And, you know, we can't be lying to the government, right? Because these programs are there in place to help people, help both Canada, but also foreigners should also be able to integrate and be comfortable in Canada. If you say, this is my uncle, this is my auntie, and this is their bank statement, and they're going to help me, but it's not true. It's not good. You're lying to the law, and you're not helping yourself. Because what happens if you get the visa, if you pass through the system, you go there, how are you going to survive? You know, it's difficult. People think, oh, I'm just going to work, I'll find a way.
We have
It's
the
not that
tendency
easy.
to think, oh, God will provide.
Yes.
Once we're in Canada.
Yes. God does provide, but God helps those who help themselves. And one of the ways to help yourself is to tell the truth and do everything properly, because when you get there, you'll struggle.
All right. In order for those of our viewers who speak only Twi or do not understand the English language, I want to break it down a little bit. Inti yene ye mame Nikiali ena edi nkomo o ye obi a Canada ban amano tumi se womwa woni a wo pese wo Canada either for school and as a tourist and as wo pese wo kotena ho. Na nasemu a wo kan say mistake no na mpese me ba ho o say ade ba ko aye ya aha emwa kese eni say yedi sa travel and tour for no yedi o say sa travel and tour for no enko no for booking, ticketing, reservation any ne kekan kan na wo so mo ye so pese wo Canada na application ni di mu a e wo say ohwehwe obi a ye frɛ won regulated Canadian immigration consultant ebi any mami ono ne de no ye one hat immigration consultant na okase wo hwehwe omo a omo no betumi ehunu kwan o mbefa so aboa afen so wo say ya na obi si o mi wo fa bi ebegina machi o diska begina machi but ebia na enye no kresa o say utwa ntra enu koda record so enti na enu so akwakofa nsem aba we no eni normal pia oka ho asem ye to aso ba bia yedu no deeper mebusa ne say adenti na access say no nipa be 100 application na nipa be 2-3 bipe na eko enu mu nchirechire mu a na oguso a oye no nti minya more information na meto amount. I was trying to tell them the importance of using regulated immigration consultants like yourself so that you give them the right information they need to travel. What are the classes of people that the Canadian government now give visas to? Maybe we can help the people. What are the specific classes of people?
Sure. I mean, there are certain occupations that are being given a priority. Generally speaking, because we have shortages in Canada and they are priority sectors.
Okay.
Agriculture and agri-food is one of them. Healthcare,
Okay.
trade, transport, and what we call STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics occupations. So, for example, if you want to do a diploma in Canada now or a certificate program after November 1st, if you want to get that work permit after you graduate, your program must be tied to one of these priority occupations. If not, after you study, you'll have to come back. This is for diploma.
Priority applications. Doctors?
Yes, healthcare.
Nurses?
Yes.
Healthcare?
Yes.
Construction
Yes.
workers?
Yes.
And those in ICT?
Yes, and exactly. Mathematics, engineering, healthcare, transportation is a big sector in Canada.
So drivers?
Even truck drivers.
Truck drivers?
Yes.
Engineers?
Yes.
And tiya mami asemu awo kan say no nyo biara keke no betumi akọ Canada. Ade as say Canada we feel priority occupations doctors any nurses for those in healthcare nyina afen so asemba ko kai o say truck drivers o say no ho akwatwe pa wo Canada so we obi a ukuta license papa ye training wo utumi twi cars akese a okwa ye betumi afa na mo nso so a mo wo ICT science mathematics any those ones mo nso so mo kwa ya na ye time ema mo priority kakra. What is the importance of using consultants just like yourself?
Okay. I think it's very important for people to know that you don't have to use a professional. And the reason I say that is because it's misleading.
Okay.
For those who can go online, get the forms, figure things out themselves, they can very much apply. There are many people who apply successfully on their own. So it's not the case that you have to use a professional.
Okay.
But if you do want to use a professional, then please use a licensed professional. Please use an immigration lawyer who tend to be based more in Canada, or
Okay.
if you want someone in your home country. For example, if you want someone in Ghana, we are there to assist you if you want to use our
Okay.
assistance. Yeah.
All right.
Because with you asked what is the importance. So once you're a licensed professional, you have made a commitment. You've made a commitment to the government. You've made a commitment to the people, and you've made a commitment to ethics, that you are going to be honest with people.
Okay.
You are going to also do your job, to know the law, to know all these changes. This year there are a lot of changes to navigate. So you made a commitment that, okay, I'm required to keep up with these changes so I can serve my clientele. Because if I make a mistake, it can affect you.
Yeah.
So that is where, for example, we do accounting. We want an accountant to know, because they know the rules, they know the laws, to help us. So in that case, for immigration and visas too, if we want to use someone, it's good to use a professional, because you know they'll serve you well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so for students, I mean, many students want to go to Canada.
Yes.
For students, I understand you partner certain universities
Yes.
and schools. Can you talk to us about that one as well?
Yes, yes. So we partner with some excellent Canadian institutions.
Okay.
One of them I graduated from.
Okay.
That's Carleton University in Ottawa.
Okay.
Ottawa is our capital city. Some people think Toronto is our capital.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's not. Ottawa is our capital.
Yeah, Toronto, you know, Toronto, Canada.
Exactly. Toronto, Ontario. Toronto, Ontario. Everybody's
but
Ontario.
Ottawa is actually the capital.
capital,
Some
yes.
people think it's the economic capital, but we have the whatever capital, you know.
Yes.
They've
Yes.
segregated to Toronto economic capital, Ottawa this capital.
Exactly.
But then Ottawa is the main capital.
Is the political capital is
Political.
Ottawa.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Toronto is one of our major economic cities,
Yeah.
you know. But in Canada, of course, all our cities serve a great purpose. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's the So yes, so Carleton University is one. What I loved about Carleton is that I did the internship program in Carleton. Carleton has one of the highest number of internship programs for students in Canada. So what's great is that if you go to Carleton, you want to do internship, you can also have the opportunity to be studying and working. And it's not just any work. They really try to find you a very good placement. My internships were in the federal government of Canada. And through that, I became a federal public servant.
Okay.
Yes. And through that, I came to Ghana, actually.
Yeah.
My life story.
Okay.
So Carleton is a great university. Lots of different programs. Another one is University of Guelph. It is very close to Toronto. And that one is great for engineering, mathematics, these kinds of programs. It's one of the top universities in Canada. Another one is Toronto Metropolitan University. That is right in downtown Toronto.
Okay.
Okay. So we partner with these three great universities. We also partner with colleges. So in Canada, universities are generally degree granting. Mostly they grant you bachelor degree, master's degree, PhDs. They do have some diploma certificates, but mostly degrees.
Okay.
But the colleges are what generally grant you the diplomas and certificates, the practical mechanical engineering technician, nursing assistant, these kinds of diplomas. So we partner with two great colleges, Sheridan College, which is in Toronto, and St. Lawrence College, which is between Toronto and Ottawa, also a great college. And also boarding schools for the high school students, SHS students.
Okay.
We also have two boarding schools that we partner with, also great schools. So we have something for everybody. So if you contact us, I want to do this, I want to do that, you can go with one of our partner organizations. You don't have to. You can also apply to other schools. But because we know these organizations, we can help you with the application process. And we don't charge anything for the school application process for these institutions.
Okay.
We only charge for visas and immigration. So the school application we do for you for free.
Wow.
Yes.
Many people are thinking of touring Canada.
Yes.
Sometimes for business, for big shows, trade,
Yes.
musical festivals, and all of that. For this category of people, what is the right way to go?
Right. So this is one of my favorite categories. And I think it's because as a business person, I see so much value in this category. I myself, when I travel, I'm always thinking, yes, I want to do some tourism, but how can I make my time also efficient and also do something for my business, which is also good for my family.
Yeah.
So Canada has some excellent conferences and trade shows for everybody. If you're in construction, if you're in the medical field, if you are in food provision, you do importing, exporting of food.
Okay.
I mean, you name it. There's something for everybody. Mining, energy, everything. So what we do is we assess people if they come to us and they say, oh well, I want to go check things out in Canada. I want to do some tourism, but this is what I do. we may even tell them, okay, are you interested in also doing business? Or they may come to us and say, I want to explore business opportunities in Canada. And we'll say, okay, great. Then we try to find them events related to their business goals. They may want to go participate. We have a client right now who's going for a food event because he wants to export yam.
That the event is in Canada?
In Canada.
Okay.
It's a trade show. It's a trade fair.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a trade fair.
Okay.
He wants to export yam to Canada, which is great because Canada has a lot of West Africans, people from the Caribbean, but even Canadians. I mean, you know, these days food is becoming something so international. Everybody wants to try foods from, you know, all kinds of backgrounds for our health and our interest. So he's going to a food. We have him a visa for him for the food event next year where he's going to go and promote that this is what he can export to Canada and what can he import to Ghana. So it's like a very good mutual relationship.
And for this person, it would be relatively easier for them to get the visas because of what they are going for.
Sure. I mean, if they're a genuine business person, we only work with genuine people, and this is a genuine interest they have of theirs. They have sufficient funds for their trip to go, and they have a genuine business in this field, then yes, it's a good application because that's what they do, and they have an honest purpose. So we love sending people for trade shows and things like that because, especially if you're in business or even if you're a professional, you know, if you're in occupational health and safety and you want to go know what's happening out there in the world of occupational health and safety. So you can go for events like that. So I love those kinds of clients and those kinds of events because I feel that the clients are also fulfilling their own purpose. They're going for their holiday, but they're also fulfilling something for themselves professionally. So we help a lot of clients who are in conferences for trade shows and things.
We've talked a lot about Canada.
Yes.
But if somebody was interested in going to, say, the UK or the US or any other European country apart from Canada, do you assist in that as well?
Yes. So One Heart Immigration Services, myself, no, I don't do direct assistance for other countries. But I started realizing when people came to us and asked the same question, I would say no, and then they would go to use someone else's help who maybe wasn't a professional, who didn't do right by them, and they would get a refusal, and that would really upset me and hurt me because I felt like, well, I could have, you know, I could have helped. So we have some trusted partners, people like ourselves, who are professionals for the other countries, where we'll let you know, look, if you want the assistance of someone, I know this person who can help you, who are honest, who are just like us, where they're trying to do a good job, and we can refer you to that person, and then you go work with them on your own, and you know, I know this person will take care of you.
All right.
Yes.
Nikki, we showed a little video of Ghanaians, you know, congregating at the Canadian Embassy and others. I mean, when you see such videos or pictures of young people trooping to the various embassies, whether it's the Canadian, US, UK embassy, how does that make you feel?
Well, this video is of the Visa Application Center in Abelempe. Well, it makes me feel, I guess I can say I feel that I wish that everybody could go and get what they want. You know, when you see people who really want something, they're lined up somewhere, you know, when you see that, you wish that people could all get their hopes and dreams met. So I wish them the best. I wish everyone the best. I hope things go well for you. But it's competitive. It's difficult. You know, it's a difficult environment out there for people everywhere in the world, I think. All
right, before we come to you for your contacts and where people can reach you, let me just interpret a little bit so that people will understand.
Sure.
Enti ya mami wakasa bebre, but near here, say me pese nyina ye hunu say akwanya wo ho say wobekọ Canada. Na mum say wo fa emra kwan so obeboa wo. Afensu no wo ka bibi say no Canada aban no omo say nipa na doso bebre wo ho bebre na no struggle ne doso e wo Canada ho ama Canadians na nkasa kra no aso omo ani nye ensese no woni a wonya priority anasa wo ba ye do de to animu ehwe application ma any health workers one year what health sector no enti doctors nurses physiotherapists ne pharmacists any ne keka ho no na osan ka say mo so more science maths any background no ICT background no mo so ye ma mo priority pa afenso no say adwuma eho akwa atwe kese pa wo Canada any mo amuchi tanka hodo any cars akese no okan manage pa na ye all kan nyina no dwene ho ye nyina akwa wan na be your mind ye aha mabisa wasem enti Madam Nikki Ali, contacts where we can reach you, how to communicate with you, maybe emails and your socials.
Sure, great, thank you. So it's very easy to find our contact information because our name is easy to remember. Okay. One Heart Immigration Services. So if you go on our website, go on our Instagram, on our YouTube, all our contact information is online. So if you miss these numbers, just go to Google One Heart Immigration Services in Accra, and you'll find our contact information very easily. I'll also give you our phone numbers here. Our landline is 030-804-0032. And I'll repeat that. That's 030-804-0032. And on WhatsApp or by phone, you can also reach us on 054-012-7766. That's 054-012-7766. Our email address, maybe it'll be easier if you get it from our website, but it's info@oneheartis.com. But if you just go on our website, you'll find our email address there.
Thank you so much, Madam Nikki Ali, for coming to our studios. The contact is 030-804-0032. 030-804-0032. And if it's WhatsApp, no, 054-012-7766. May Fabium 054-012-7766. So reaching email so info@oneheart.com. info@oneheart.com. Or Instagram, NAX, and also 1.Heartis. Is that it?
Yes.
1.Heartis. Okay. Enti no. Yane Madam Nikki Ali Edinkomo oye obi a Canada ban amani tumi se omwa woni a wo se fata se wotumi ba krom ho. Ti numbers a yede atudwane nyina no obetumi afre WhatsApp lines so. Afre those of you on the World Wide Web and so who sending the emailer or be reply. Is there any last words you want to give to our viewers before we say goodbye to you?
No, I just want to wish everybody a good day. And thank you very much for having me on the show. I really enjoyed that.
Yes, I enjoyed talking to you as well.
Yes.
I have received a lot of education talking to you on visa application to the to Canada.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.